News Channel 15 presents The Film Reel, the talk show where we discuss everything going on in the world of movies and television, with hosts Bryce West and Ian Lloyd. This is The Film Reel. Hello, welcome into The Film Reel, the talk show where we discuss everything going on in the world of movies and television. I am Bryce West.
And I'm Ian Lloyd.
And we've got another exciting episode for you all. We're going to be reviewing Disney's Haunted Mansion based off of the theme park ride. But first, let's take a look at the box office report for this week.
Coming in at number 5 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, starring Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The film follows archaeologist Indiana Jones as he races against time to retrieve a legendary artifact that can change the course of history. The film brought in $6.7 million, dropping 45.4% from last weekend. For the Film Reel, I'm Peyton Peters.
Coming in at number 4 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, starring Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down the dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. The film brought in $19.5 million, dropping 64.3% from last weekend. For the Film Reel, I'm Ian Klingland.
Coming in at number 3 is Sound of Freedom, starring Jim Caviezel, Mira Sorvino, and Bill Camp. The true story of a former government agent turned vigilante who embarks on a dangerous mission to rescue hundreds of children from sex traffickers. The film brought in $20.1 million, dropping 26.1% from last weekend. For the Film Reel, I'm Gretchen Owen.
Coming in at number 2 is Oppenheimer, starring Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, and Robert Downey Jr. The story of American scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer and his role in the development of the atomic bomb. The film opened with $80.5 million. For the Film Reel, I'm Tegan Rule.
Coming in at number 1 is Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Barbie suffers a crisis that leads her to question her world and her existence. The film opened with $155 million. For the Film Reel, I'm Drew Pountain.
So, surprising literally, I think, no one. Barbie and Oppenheimer top out the charts. Barbie at number 1, Oppenheimer at number 2. Very safe bet for those two. I think Barbie is, is just a bigger name brand, kind of thing. So.
And people are just way more into going to the theater with tons of friends, dressing up, and like going to see Barbie. And I mean, Oppenheimer's getting a little bit of that after effects too, because the double feature factor, and people want to go see both. Yeah,
apparently this Barbenheimer past weekend was, I believe they reported, was the 4th biggest domestic box office weekend ever. Yeah. So good for them. They did it.
Yeah, it pays for, studios to put actual creatives and
good movies,
let them make the movies they want to make.
Yeah, so definitely a huge success for both Barbie and Oppenheimer. Super happy to see these two doing well, and I think this will continue to be a pattern for the next quite a few weeks. Coming in at number 3 is Sound of Freedom. People are buying tickets, but their theaters are still empty. Think of that as you will. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Number 4 just got absolutely obliterated by Barbenheimer. Wow. They really should have released this maybe in August or in June, honestly. In June. Yeah. June would have been a good, I think, place for this film. Yeah. But having it right the week before Barbenheimer, I think, just absolutely just killed it.
And it's a bummer because, it was only in IMAX screens for like 2 weeks or so. So
I think 1 week. Because it came out the week before. Yeah. So, big yikes for Mission Impossible. I think honestly that doesn't really have anything to do with the quality of the film. I wasn't a huge fan, unlike everybody else it seems, but I think really the major factor going into that was just its horrible release date. I don't know what they were thinking was going to happen there.
I think overall it's going to stick around. It's not going to do probably as well as the other films from that series, but I think it's going to stick around because it's one of the best movies of the summer.
Yeah, we shall see. And then number 5, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. It's Audi 5000 after this weekend for sure. Just not a good movie. Not a great movie, and I think people kind of caught wind of that, and there's really, unless you're a huge fan of Indiana Jones and or Harrison Ford, probably zero reason to go watch it. So yeah, that comes in at number 5. Honestly, quite a ways behind from number 4, Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Mission Impossible came in at $19.3 million, and then Indiana Jones was 6.7.
Yeah.
if you round.
Insidious was right on its tail.
Yeah, so kind of disastrous numbers for Indiana Jones, considering it had around a $300 million production budget.
Yeah.
I'm just really confused on what they were expecting from that film. I don't know if they're like, oh, Harrison Ford, so it'll make $1 billion for sure. But
I'm pretty sure they were banking on the fact that people love the Indiana Jones series.
Yeah, but like even whenever they brought it back in 2008 with Crystal Skull, didn't do huge numbers then either.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they didn't really do huge numbers. Raiders did really well comparative to his budget, but then I think the others did pretty much just similar numbers to that. So I don't know. Indiana Jones has never been a $1 billion franchise. I don't know what in the world made them think it was going to be a great idea to spend $300 million on that film.
Bryce,
but
it's one of the most beloved franchises of all time. I think they were banking on it being a Star Wars, when in actuality...
Okay, but Star Wars had precedent of making billion. Phantom Menace made $1 billion in 1999.
Yeah.
So they have precedent for that. But Indiana Jones, they tried to bring it back in 2008, and it didn't. That's what they were banking on that too, and it didn't work then.
Well, that's how it is, because the word of mouth gets bigger and bigger as years goes on.
Yeah,
but
don't get me wrong. If Indiana Jones was actually a good film, I feel like it would have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
But probably would still only be around Mission Impossible numbers. So I don't know. We'll see how the rest of it pans out. But we're going to go ahead and go into our predictions for next weekend's box office results. I'm just going to get these two straight out of the way. I think Barbie and Oppenheimer are staying in 1 and 2 respectively easily. I don't think it will even come anywhere close. We'll get to Ian's opinion on that later. But there's absolutely no way in the world anything is going to stop Barbie and Oppenheimer right now. Coming in at number 3, opening this weekend, opening today, is Haunted Mansion. I debated on putting this at number 4. I put it at number 3. I think that's a little risky for me. We'll get into Ian's prediction for that later. Sorry, man.
Focus on your own list.
Look, I know, man, but you're out of this world.
Right.
So number 4, I have Sound of Freedom. I almost put that above Haunted Mansion because people just keep buying tickets. But I think Haunted Mansion, since it is a new release this weekend, I think it could top Sound of Freedom. And number 5, I have Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. Definitely not doing the numbers that they thought it would, but I think it will stay in the top 5. Buckle up, y'all. All right.
I'm taking a swing on this one.
And a miss. Let's see.
Not yet. Barbie number 1.
We don't know for sure, yeah.
So Barbie is definitely going to stay in the number 1. It's the banger of the summer. Everybody's going to see Barbie. Haunted Mansion's number 2.
That's crazy.
I don't think so. Because I think there's a lot of people who like Disney, and they're going to go see this movie.
Remember
That's
Little
my
Mermaid?
prediction. Yeah. And people went to see that movie. Tons of people. And I think more so
But
for
also,
Haunted
Little
Mansion.
Mermaid was also an established property, and it's still underperformed.
This ride's been around for
half
a
but
century.
Little Mermaid is one of the most beloved films of all time, and they're remaking it, and it still did pretty
I think
not
people
great.
are going to still go see this one.
I don't know. Against Oppenheimer, it's going to be Oppenheimer.
Yeah, just by a little bit.
Just by a little bit. I think Oppenheimer's going to beat it by a lot of bit.
Okay.
Still.
Anyways, before I got interrupted.
Sorry, that's
here's
my
my
bad.
list. Barbie number 1, Haunted Mansion number 2, Oppenheimer number 3. I'm going to say, I'm manifesting here, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 as my number 4, and then Sound of Freedom.
I can get behind you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one could be possible.
Yeah.
They're pretty close to each other right now.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I'm banking on Haunted Mansion drawing the freaks away from Sound of Freedom. So then that one will go down a little bit.
I could see Sound of Freedom because I think, did they come out the same week?
As what? Mission Impossible?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Mission
it came out a
Impossible
week before.
Oh, it came out a week
July
before.
4th.
So
when it came out.
Yeah. Okay. So then, I could see that maybe being the case.
Yeah.
I could see Sound of Freedom and Mission Impossible swapping. Look, the reviews are horrible on. Well, will be horrible on Haunted Mansion. I think word of mouth is just going to be awful. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and after this, we got a review for Haunted Mansion coming up.
News Channel 15, winner of the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System Award for the nation's best community college TV station.
Summer is heating up, and so are the savings at Timberlake Furniture. The 2023 summer sale is underway. Take 23% off of all closeout items. Make sure you have the best indoor escape from the summer heat. Check out our large selection of bedroom suites from the name brands you know and trust. And be prepared to entertain this summer by browsing the area's largest selection of dining room sets. Visit the Tri-State's largest showroom with the largest selection, Timberlake Furniture, so your house feels like home.
Welcome back into the Film Reel. Today we're going to be reviewing Haunted Mansion based off of the Disney theme park ride. And it was pretty lame. So with that being said, that wraps up things here on the Film Reel.
Bryce,
What?
This is the best ride in Liberty Square of Magic Kingdom at Disney World, aka or Disneyland.
You know, I did have a lot of fun on the real ride.
Yes, it's a good
but this movie is not a ride that I feel like I ever want to take ever again.
Well, if you go into this movie, as like, and you make it seem like, oh, I'm going on a ride. This movie is gonna like take me on a ride, much as the theme park ride itself. You're gonna have a fun time because it's cute, it's kind of spooky, it's got some neat visuals here and there, and it is, for the most part, pretty fun. But it doesn't leave you with much after leaving the theater.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't disagree more. Whenever I was watching this movie, I felt like I was sitting there for 4 hours. It's about 120 minutes, so like 2 hours. Yeah. Just absolutely bored out of my mind. I usually, whenever I go to the movies, I make sure I do whatever it takes to make sure I don't have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the movie. I went to the bathroom in the middle of the movie just because I needed a break from what I was watching on the screen. That's not even me doing like a joke or a bit. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I just really just needed a break from this film because I was just so bored, so uninterested. Yeah. Just absolutely nothing in this film interested me at all. You know, the sets are cool. I'll give them, like, there are a few good things about this. The sets are cool. The performances are fine. I laughed once, maybe every half hour. Yeah. You know, there are a few funny moments, but other than that, I can't think of a single reason as to why somebody should go watch this film. Yeah. And this is why I am so baffled at your number 2 pick for the box office this weekend. I think the general audience is going to have probably about the same opinion as us, and I just don't see this movie. I don't see a universe in which this movie does well.
I think people are going to go see it because it's got so many standout actors, production design, everything looks, everything's competent, everything's clean, it's all nice, but feels like it was made by a committee. There doesn't seem to be a personal touch to this thing at all. It really does feel like somebody, or like a big group of people making a theme park ride. And yeah, it's kind of fun in the moment, but it just doesn't leave you with anything, and it just feels like a waste of time. Even like early Disney, like Disney movies from 2 decades ago, like Pirates of the Caribbean, the original Haunted Mansion ride or Haunted Mansion movie, even those, like, they have flaws. Yeah. But they feel like movies.
Yeah, this definitely didn't. Yeah.
They feel like they're taking an idea, putting it into a cinematic like place, but like this one just, it feels like all the Disney movies these days are just theme park rides. Right. That's all they are.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And with that being said, that wraps up things here on this episode of the Film Reel. Kind of a little bit shorter. We don't really have a lot to say other than these pretty bad things about Haunted Mansion. But we'll see you next week with more episodes of the Film Reel.